We're here at Big Chief Restaurant, right off the old Route 66 highway. This place has an incredible history. It's been around since the 1920s. We've got Stephanie Mulholland and her partner John. They have completely redone the place, but really preserved a lot of the history. Can you believe how amazing this garden is they have here? They've been using Vine Vitality all year. They grow everything from tomatoes, to basil, to sage, to potatoes, oregano, mint, cucumbers, zucchini, Swiss chard, limes. And believe it or not, they utilize 95% of everything they grow from the garden.
Well, to be honest, I had always been in love with gardening, and with the restaurant being here and the majority of my time being here on this property, being at the restaurant. And then we just started experimenting with seeds and what we could grow and what we couldn't grow and what worked inside the restaurant, and start producing our own. So the whole thought came where we laid it out, designed it, everyone helping out, building the beds. Isn't that awesome?
That is delicious.
Thank you.
Okay.
Wow, look at this amazing garden they have here.
I think you need another person actually to help you figure that out.
Yeah.
Holy moly! That's amazing!
Wow.
Well, so far this year we've seen a significant improvement over last year. I think it had a lot to do with just the soil being amended better, but then we also chose to use some different organic and natural fertilizers this year that we didn't last year. One of them being the Vine Vitality, which as far as I've seen has been a tremendous help in the regeneration of crops and also just keeping the crops healthy. I had zucchinis and squash plants that were harvesting very well and producing very well, but then they started to die off, and we gave it another round of the Vine Vitality, and within 2 or 3 days they were right back where they were producing. And as you can see behind me, there's a lot that we just harvested today. We got together with the chefs, with John, and talked about what he kind of wanted us to grow. At the beginning of the season, we decided that we were going to switch our vegetable to a more of a medley of zucchini, squash, red pepper, that kind of thing. So that's why if you look through the garden, you'll see a lot of zucchini plants, a lot of squash plants, a lot of pepper plants, because that's what we're going to be using in the restaurant. Obviously, we use a lot of tomatoes. We make all of our sauces from scratch, so like our pizza sauce, our pomodoro sauce, all the tomatoes on our salads, tomatoes on our sandwich, so that's why we have an abundance of tomato plants out there. So we got, it's kind of hidden right now, but we got zucchini, some squash, we got some cucumbers, we got some purple beauty peppers, we got some chocolate beauty peppers, did some green tomatoes that just kind of fell off the vine, do some fried green tomatoes or something like that with those. We got some cherry tomatoes, we got some early girl tomatoes. The big boy, the beefsteaks aren't ready yet, so we'll get those in a week or two. But that's pretty much it. We try and utilize as much as we can from the garden, and we try and base our dishes around what we can grow. Just that way we can give the customers the freshest product that we can.
Let's come on in and see exactly what Chef John is going to prepare with what we've harvested today.
Okay, we've got some nice yellow squash and zucchini that we have harvested from our garden as well. Just going to get that prepared for tonight's dinner service. The fresh sauteed zucchini and squash with some fresh herbs mixed in as well. little zucchini and squash medley for tonight. Once again, with some beautiful vegetables from our garden. There's some beautiful red peppers right here that were harvested just a couple days ago. These in a couple different of our pasta dishes as well. Okay, right now I pulled some fresh herb from our garden. I have some fresh thyme. I have some fresh rosemary, as well as some freshly picked parsley that we will be preparing. We will use the fresh herbs for garnish for our plate tonight for dinner service. We have some fresh basil we've just harvested from the garden that we will wash it real good naturally, and we use this on about 3 different items on our menu year long. We have what's called our toasted lasagna, which I'll take some of these basil leaves here and I will chiffonade them down, and it will go over the top of our basil, or over the top of our lasagna. And then we also have what's called our margarita pizza, which we also put chiffonade basil on as well. I'm just kind of separating it now and getting it ready to wash off, which I've noticed this year versus last year that the quality of our vegetables are just tremendous. The yields have been outstanding. The size of the vegetables have just been phenomenal. The tomatoes seem to have a better flavor to me this year versus our last year's crop. Yeah, it's always neat to walk in from the garden with fresh vegetables and herbs, and it seems to be the big conversation piece of our guests. You know, they're always going, oh, look, they're bringing fresh stuff in. I'm gonna have one of my chefs. What we're going to do now is, will you prepare me a lasagna? And then we're also going to make what's called a margarita pizza, like I mentioned before, to where we will cut up some of our fresh basil and put on it. We've actually yielded several hundred pounds of tomatoes that we will be poaching to pull the skins off, and then we will make what's called our pomodoro sauce that goes, we use our pizza sauce as well as a couple different items on our menu, such as our lasagna. I'm actually going to go grab some fresh aromas that we pulled from the garden as well. So what I've got here is a few of our Roma tomatoes that we pulled from our garden that will go on our margarita pizza. So now I'm going to go ahead and take some of this fresh basil that we just pulled from the garden. Here's a few of the tomatoes that we actually just pulled from the garden right now. I'll be dicing these up as well for our salads tonight. Give that pizza a couple minutes to turn it into some love. Beautiful. So this right here is our toasted lasagna that's one of our signature items on our menu, and what we do is we top it off with some fresh parsley that's already been chopped up earlier today, and then we take some fresh basil and sprinkle it over the top. And that's one of our signature items on our menu as well. Fresh basil from the garden. So we'll actually take some of these fresh tomatoes that I've just chopped up and just kind of garnish our Big Chief salad with them tonight. So there's nothing like a fresh tomato on a salad. So then we have the completed product right here, our Big Chief salad. And we have our fresh margarita pizza here. I'm getting ready to top it off with some fresh basil. Then I'm going to let you be a victim for me here.
That looks amazing. Wow.
To Romano Parm, and
Thank you.
you're welcome.
I feel like I'm getting healthier eating. So fresh.
Yeah, the fresh basil just really sets it off. So now we have some fresh parsley that we're going to prepare for dinner service tonight as well. We use fresh parsley to garnish a lot of our plates with. You know, we purchase a lot of parsley throughout the year in the off seasons, and one thing I've noticed is how bright and vibrant green that the parsley and all the herbs have been since we've started using this product. If you could smell this right now, it's just amazing.
Terrific.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
No problem. My pleasure.
All right, so today we're going to be making one of our drinks that's on our drink menu, our cocktail menu, that incorporates some fresh basil from the garden. This basil this year has been doing tremendous. We have so much out there, and it's just huge, beautiful leaves, and a lot of that has to do with the vine vitality that we fertilize it with, I think. So for this drink, what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple basil leaves, we're going to throw them in our shaker tin, and we are going to add about an ounce of simple syrup that we make in-house as well. Should be good. And we're going to add a little bit of ice, just a couple cubes, just to kind of give us some rough, that'll scrape up the basil leaves, so we get some of that, the oils and the scent and everything like that out. So once we get that good and muddled, we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. We're going to add a little more ice. And then we're going to add an ounce and a half of this Hendrick's gin. There we go. And then we're going to shake it. We're going to take our rocks glass, we're going to put some ice in it. that. Strainer. Once we get that, we're gonna top it with club soda. And we'll garnish with a lime and a little sprig of basil. And this is called the Lime Basil Refresher. Great cocktail for the summer.
And right from the bar, right to chef preparing it, and it's right here on the table.
Oh, thank
Whoa.
you. Nice.
Beautiful.
Oh, I'm so hungry.
Yeah,
You can just smell the fresh basil.
I do. Is this from your garden?
Mm-hmm.
Right outside the door. And you know what's neat is literally sitting on the patio, seeing this huge garden that you have out back and knowing that you harvested right from your garden right to the table.
Yep.
I think that is amazing. Can't get any fresher than that.
That's what my grandma would say. Guys, I have this really fun game. If you want to come out and play, come on. It's called Who Can Pull the Longest Weed.
Hey, Michael, would you give me some sample dialogue here?
Testing, 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 testes. 1, 2.
The fertilizer kicked ass on our crop.
There we go. We love it. We love it. I was out here with Scott, a big cheap restaurant one sunny day. We were talking about vine vitality in the garden, hooray! I cut.
There you go.
Call my name. I wonder if I could. Oh, Mr. Talley. Get it?
I did.